Sometime within the next minute or so, somewhere on the planet, another big idea is being born. It might be a new song, a new product, who knows? And who knows how to make this idea grow and introduce it to the world? Let's find out. Welcome to The Next Big Idea with your host, Peter Gantner. The program is sponsored by kulaBrands, dedicated to help with branding, funding, and marketing the next big idea. And if that idea is yours, you want to pay particular attention to the particulars. Peter and his co-hosts and guests will explain just how it's done. If you happen to be an investor or just an interested party, you could benefit from the efforts of kulaBrands. You could become a part of their community of folks who want to help others and make money in the process. If that sparks your curiosity or wets your whistle, sit up and take notice. kulaBrands presents Peter Gantner and his guests on The Next Big Idea.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to The Next Big Idea. This is your guest host, Cory Moran, and today we will be interviewing an entrepreneur. Her name is Julieta Recometa with Easy on BaBeez. Peter Gantner is going to join us in the next segment, but today we have a really special episode for you guys where we're going to cover the subject of the struggle and the joys of becoming an entrepreneur. And in this first segment, we're going to get with Julieta Recometa here, and we're going to hear how her journey got started. And Julieta, are you there?
Okay, guys, I have to tell you when my real luck began, okay? I was so down and so distraught because I thought I'd be a millionaire already by then, launching my own business after my retirement. But then, as you know it, you have no control over everything. And so one day I was really, really down, and I was babysitting with my little grandbaby at the beach. And I turned on to Facebook, and there's Cory interviewing the process to be. And I was so intrigued by what he was doing. And, right away, that sparked my imagination. And I said, oh, my goodness, this can be good. So as soon as I got a moment, I dialed in and I said, hey, your program seemed to be very interesting. Can I talk to you? So sure enough, I was talking to Cory and I said, listen, I'd like to be a member. I want to learn from what you guys are doing. So that was my first approach. I didn't even tell him that I am an inventor. My only thing is to have some contact with humans, because at that time I was feeling so depressed, alone, because things were not working for me. So to cut my story short, I became a member, and after a little while I called back Cory and I said, Cory, I meant to tell you I'm also an inventor. And he said, you are? What is it that you have? And right away he said, listen, stop right there. Let me get somebody. And long and behold, I have Bian on the phone, I have Peter on the phone, and Cory on the phone. So those are my three guys that introduced me not only to kulaBrands, but the way to entrepreneurship, the way to becoming a supported inventor of kulaBrands. So as soon as I explained to Peter what my invention was, he got so excited. And he said, Yanni, send the contract to this lady. Let's get this thing working, So that was March. So I became a member in March. I became a supported inventor around that time. And then May, I happened to be at KP1. So where was that? In Phoenix?
Yeah, our very first event. I do remember that's where I got to meet you for the first time, Julieta.
Yes, I met everybody for the first time in person. And of course, I was excited that, oh my gosh, this is real. These are real people. I got so excited. Ajit, my partner, he was my financial partner when I started the business. He came along And I met so many people that I got right away attracted to, to say the least, not in a romantic way, okay, okay, but in a family way. I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are real. These people really are doing something. And Peter at that time announced, okay, Julieta, get ready. And I looked at Ajit and I looked at Cory and I said, what's that supposed to mean? Get ready. And he said, well, you will be the next inventor to be supported, and you'll be in a crowdfunding site. And I'm like, what is a crowdfunding thing? I don't understand the thing, what this community is doing really, and how they achieve what they are trying to do. So lo and behold, here comes Shani on the phone with me, and we started working, and I will tell him what the product should be, and Yanni would type it in Indiegogo, and I believe we completed it in 2.5 days or so. And that is how my Indiegogo crowdfunding got released to the community.
Wow. You know what, Julieta, I love that you saw Cory, you said, hey, I want to do this kulaBrands thing. What is this? That's great. So you got started as a member, and then you realized, it was after that you realized, oh, I've got this product idea. Gosh, this is an outlet for me to possibly pursue. I think that's such a fantastic story.
The funny part about this whole story was she kept talking about, well, I know so-and-so, and I am connected to this many people, and I just want to start building this community. I want to tell so-and-so about this because this is just amazing. And in our conversation, I kept trying to lead her back to her invention, because I was at the time excited about what she had through our original contact. And then we just got into the whole member thing. And that really was proof to where we were in the model and still are, was when people get a hold of the concept and when they grasp it, they get super excited, and that's all they can talk about. And I could not get a word in edgewise with Julieta when she was talking about becoming a member, which was absolutely fantastic. And that carried on through a lot of people that I came in contact with as the field person who was in contact with prospects at the time, and everybody was just so excited. And to this day, when you tell somebody about the kulaBrands model, the concept, and you can hear and you can feel the excitement in their energy, and then there's no slowing down from there.
Yes, and Cory, I may have to ask that. I want to add this. The reason I was attracted to kulaBrands is at that point, you were very focused on increasing the membership at the same time, putting in some of the inventors on board. And like you said, I was more interested in becoming a member because I did not mention this, although I had a good professional career, I've always wanted to be in business for myself. And so guess what? I have been in multi-level marketing, and I can count at least 5 major ones that I was involved in. Some I had to stop because it interfered with my career, and I was afraid of losing my job because some of the jobs that I have had are not allowing any kind of moonlighting. It doesn't matter if it interferes with your job or not. They're just not liking it. So I would start something. There was one company, I got so good. I think I recruited over 1,000 people. And I said, chicken feed, I can do this kulaBrands membership thing, because I can always call back on all these other people. But when Cory started refocusing my thinking into building my brand through kulaBrands, that's when I figure, you know what? I really think this guy believed in me and the products, and maybe it's worth pursuing. So really, it can be any direction that you take. There is no, I would say, it's providential. Whatever happens to us in our lives is God's design. It's God's timing. Okay, we put in the work, but when it's time, it's time. So I never lose hope because I know it's not just on me. It's with God's guidance, with God's blessing, and with the right kind of people in your midst. And guess what? Where else can you find this kind of people who I always say, and there's in your background here, the big heart. This is the only company I found that represents a huge, I should say, huge heart of gold. And that's what, I mean, even if I don't succeed, I mean, I shouldn't say that. Even if the business doesn't take off as much as I expect it to be, just being a part of kulaBrands is more than what I can hope for.
Wow, I love that, Julieta, and thank you so much. I can't believe it. We're already getting to the end of our very first segment, and you got to hear from Julieta Recometa herself, got to hear her backstory and how she found kulaBrands. We're going to be back right with you with our next segment. Can't wait to see you there.
You're tuned in to Better Living Radio, streaming worldwide across the internet, and you're listening to entrepreneur and thought processor Peter Gantner on The Next Big Idea. Stay tuned. Peter will be right back. You hear Jackie Simmons daily here on Better Living Radio. As the founder of the Teen Suicide Prevention Society, she's presenting a course to help you become a Make It a Great Day advocate. It's a series of weekly classes, and by the end of the course, you'll be able to listen. Just listen, without trying to fix or strategize or help. It's one of the most critical skills in the world today. Jackie explains the 7 key techniques to create conversations that break the cycle of hopelessness, proven techniques to help others break the silence and save lives. You'll learn to open the door by setting the right tone right from the start. Stop wasting time wondering if there's a need to speak up. There is. After registering, simply pay what you wish. There's a suggested donation on the website, along with a long list of bonus items to come when you register and attend. You can become an advocate. Just click on makeitagreatdayadvocates.com. Better Living Radio is on the air, and yes, it's everywhere around the world. Are you wondering, hey, what's the big idea? Well, funny you should ask. Our show is called The Next Big Idea with Peter Gantner. In fact, we're back with more on Better Living Radio.
Well, thank you, Cory, for taking on the first segment and getting this going. We are here today. This is Peter Gantner on The Next Big Idea with Julieta Recometa, and she is going to be talking about her, in this segment, we are going to cover, because Julieta had a 34-year career in the fashion industry working for some of the major companies in the world, and she's going to explain that to you. And then again, retired and said, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur, which you heard about in the last segment. Julieta, why don't you give them a little bit about your career and also cover the differences between being a career person, because with that, you have the support of corporations, you have that side of it, and with on this side, it's you, the kulaBrands community. So go ahead and tell them a little bit about your career, Julieta.
Okay, Peter, I'd like to start by telling you that I had such a fortune of having a retail fashion industry career that lasted for 34 years. And I have enjoyed it. I have, I would say, rose through the ranks. And because of my determination to be the very best worker there is at the time that I was employed. So I have worked for the big box retailers, and I have learned a lot. And let me just give you some of these companies that I have worked for. I worked for Spiegel. I don't know if you have heard of that company. It's a catalog company popular in the 80s. And then I went on to work for Dillard's. Dillard's is based in Little Rock, Arkansas. You know them. And then I also work for, and the reason that we ended up being in Florida is I got hired as a technical designer manager for Chico's. And thereafter, after just being working for 6 months with Chico's, I was appointed to be the coordinator of a new brand for Chico's, which is called Soma Intimates. And from there, I moved to Target. Again, because of my lucrative career, I was able to get this very nice salary and the opportunity to visit so many countries around the world and met so many resources, so many beautiful people, that I've learned so much being an employee, okay, as a career person. So when I retired in 2014, my goal is just to spend time with my family, especially with my husband, who became kind of secondary to my career. Let's just face it. That's the truth sometimes when you are so dedicated to your work. So I said, okay, now it's our time. Let's take some vacations. And we did that for about a year. But then I came across an opportunity to really pursue my number one wish, and that is to own my own business. All because I started working as babysitting for my little grandchildren. And that was the start of the Easy on Babies.
And that was the story in our first segment, right? I mean, that's
yes.
And so now you're there, and give us kind of the difference between, so when you worked for other companies, you ran a division, helped develop that, but there was really a core difference here, right? There you had finances from the business.
Yes.
There was somebody else doing accounting. There was somebody else doing maybe a marketing department stuff. Here you are now starting this business. You are the marketing department, the finance department, you are the manufacturing. Can you give them a little bit of the dynamics of that?
Yes, I'd love to share that with you. When I started with a hand-selected group of friends, and I thought I had it. You know, I have Ajit Patel, who was assigned to do all of the business planning. He also put up the seed money for the business. I had a former co-employee who was a buyer, and I figure, oh my gosh, this girl would have all the contacts in the world to do all the sales to all the retailers, to the big box retailers, and everyone that could that we can sell our products to. And then I also have my friend based in Hong Kong that worked with me day and night to do our products from development all the way to production. So I thought, this is it. I'm all set. But you know what? I just realized as soon as I launched the business that that's not everything. Okay? I mean, I ended up having to do so many other parts of the business, and it was also at that time that
and Julieta, Ajit got ill, right? So he was there to help. He ended up that sidetracked him, right? So it wasn't that he didn't want to continue to help you; he was unable to. Correct?
He was unable to help me, unfortunately, because he had a catastrophic sickness, and he cannot be helping me anymore. He was, of course, and I was like, my gosh, how do I do this? Because I relied on him on a lot of the big stuff. Okay. And then the other partner had to go back to a full-time job just because we don't have the income yet to pay ourselves. So the only one left working was yours truly. And then I realized I don't have all the competencies out there in the world to
And
be doing
Julieta,
everything.
you're a little over 4 years into this. How much have you paid yourself? Just to give people an idea on the entrepreneurial side of things, sometimes who is the last person to get paid? What is your current salary with Easy on BaBeez?
0.
You're still putting money into it, correct? Making it happen and moving the thing forward.
Yes. Now that Ajit has placed the seed money in the beginning, then the next thing is, where do I get the rest of this, to keep it moving? So that's when I needed to, I spoke to you, Peter, because I needed some game plan to move some of my inventory in order to sustain the business. Because as you know it, when you are in business, there are many bills associated with having a business. You have to pay for your website. You have to pay for some of your contractual help. You have to pay for some of your fulfillment subscriptions. I do the physical work, but there are some systems that I have to utilize in order to ship my goods. I have to
people that have certain talents, right? Graphic designers, right? Because
Correct.
You want your packaging, you want your everything to really shine. So you really need to there's not everything you can do yourself. I doubt that there's any one person that has all of the assets in that. So you are going to have to spend money and move that stuff forward on an occasional basis, hiring contractors and those type of things. So now here you are, great career. Now here you are as an entrepreneur wearing many hats, and it seems like it's a scary thing. Why do you do it, Julieta? What is the drive that makes you go from, I could be retired on vacation, to actually still every day getting up and building and putting effort into your business?
Well, Peter, as it turned out, I ended up having so many people that cared about me, that supported me, and that's what really got me going. I figure these people believed in me, and you're one of them, of course, Peter, and some of our core team members. And I just felt I cannot let them down. They believe in me before I even believed in myself. How awesome can that be? And from there on, I figure, you know what? We cannot stop this thing. I became unstoppable, Peter, because of my desire to be of service, not only to my family, but of service to everyone that cared to make us all successful as a group.
Julieta, what made you want to be 34, great career, accomplished so much? What gave you that fire and that desire to want to be an entrepreneur? Can you put your finger on it? Was it you wanted to set your own destiny? Was it that you wanted to see what you could do? It's like, why, some people say, why do people climb mountains, right? Well, it's kind of just to see if they can make it, right? If they could do it. What was your determining factor? We've got about a minute left in this segment. Let's close it with that, and then we'll come back with more with Julieta Recometa in the next segment.
I think if I have to sum it in one word, the one word that I will tell people is my desire to be of service to humanity. I would love to leave a legacy where people will remember me as someone that helped people.
That is so awesome, guys. And I got to tell you, for a lot of entrepreneurs, I think leaving a legacy behind, not wanting to be forgotten, just a few years when our time is due here. So that is a big factor when I talk to entrepreneurs. A lot of people talk about, wanting to be their own boss. I don't know if you can really put a finger on that. Maybe they don't like people to tell them what to do. Entrepreneurs are a very unique breed of people because the amount of risk that they are taking is tremendous. We'll dig more in with Julieta after this segment. We'll see you after the break.
So are you wondering where the next big idea will come from? Well, you'll hear about it first here at Better Living Radio. See, this is the show called The Next Big Idea. Maybe you got the next big idea, or maybe you just like to make some money from it. Peter Gantner will explain when we come back on Better Living Radio.
A health threat anywhere is a health threat everywhere. I'm Dr. Phil. A new coronavirus outbreak called COVID-19 started in China and is spreading to many countries, including the U.S. It's critical to get the facts about how to protect our friends and loved ones. While CDC is working with states and communities to stop the spread of the virus, health workers and emergency response efforts need our support. The CDC Foundation, a nonprofit organization, is focusing on immediate and critical needs that help protect our communities here at home and those around the world. We can all play a role in stopping this deadly virus. Get updates, learn how to protect your friends and family, and find out how to help. Go to cdcfoundation.org. That's cdcfoundation.org. Together, our impact is greater.
This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the CDC Foundation.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-639-8620. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It'll be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car. And as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-639-8620. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-639-8620. That's 1-800-639-8620.
Welcome back to Better Living Radio and this amazing idea for a radio show. It's called The Next Big Idea. Rather ironic, wouldn't you say? Hey, if you've got an idea, you might want to talk with host Peter Gantner or one of his guests here at Better Living Radio. Oh, look, here they come now.
This is Peter, your host on The Next Big Idea, and we're back in our third segment with Julieta Recometa, and we're excited to have her here, and we're going to be excited to talk about, so in the first segment, we covered the story of Julieta and kulaBrands. In our second segment, we talked about her career and going from that into an entrepreneur. We covered a little bit of that. In this segment, what I'd like to do, Julieta, is give some real-world situations that you've been in now as an entrepreneur. I mean, our goal is to help entrepreneurs with their journey. So if you could just kick in here real quick with some of the situations you've dealt with as an entrepreneur now with Easy on Babies. I know that we've got the Bye Baby story. We've got going and doing the trade show. We've got your partners not able to continue to move on with you that you started with. Any of those subjects we'd love to hear from you with. So Julieta, take it away.
Oh, yes. This is one segment I'd be more than happy to share because that's how we learn. We learn by telling the good and the bad. I shouldn't say bad, but it's just part of the journey where you stumble. So when I started, I have hand-selected 4 wonderful friends and colleagues in the industry. And one of them became my financial partner. He actually gave me the seed money. And then I also chose a partner who used to be my buyer. And wonderful, beautiful person. And in the beginning, we kind of work out what our branding strategy is, what our selling strategy should be. And I cannot forget my 4th partner, my wonderful friend from Hong Kong. She is actually a good friend of mine throughout my whole career in the industry. So to get to my story, I thought I started strong. I have a structure. I have people that should be doing the work based on their skill set. But as life does for us, things do change. And Ajit had a really catastrophic, I would say, health issue that made him get out in the background, and in other words, not to be involved. And I so relied on him for a lot of things because he's the guy that knows about financials, about strategy, and all of that. And then comes also my other beautiful partner who, for lack of income with the business, and of course I cannot promise that we can pay ourselves in the beginning, had to go back to a full-time job. So I was left with one partner overseas that helped me continue to develop the product. But at that time, I felt so alone and so, I would say, down and desperate because all of a sudden I'm finding myself groping for any kind of help that I can get from people.
Well, and here, Julieta, you and I have a conversation, correct? We get on the
Yes.
phone and we talk about it. And the conclusion of that phone call is that you were the magic. It was your product and the best person to go out and sell it, right? Because
Yes.
Kathy was doing sales and Ajit was doing some of the financing and stuff like that. That the best person, because of who developed it, was, who did the conclusion come down to that the best person to move this thing forward was?
It's yours truly. In the
That's
end, I do not even have that confidence, okay? Because I figure, hey, I'm not so used to being in the limelight. I like to be the worker. I like to be the one that puts all the product components and all that. But going out there, selling it myself, and talking to people was not one of my competencies. But guess what? As an entrepreneur, you only need to hear someone tell you that you are the most important element of the equation. And Peter, you told me that, and I listened. And guess what? Magic happens after that. When I started believing that it is my product, I should be the one out there telling people about it and believing it myself.
Well, and that led you to Groupon, BaBeez.
Yes.
I mean, the doors really began to open up once you engaged, because again,
Yes.
what got you to start the business was your belief in your product. So that belief is what you don't have to be a salesperson to sell. You need to believe in the product that you're presenting, right? And that was the real difference, is your belief level is what led you to. I've given Julieta the name Rockietta because, again, she got up off the mat. I mean, she got hit hard. It was like, and let's put this dynamic in here. You and your husband, very comfortable if you're not entrepreneurs, right? Because of you guys set yourselves up very nicely. He would love it if you would retire, right?
Yes.
And you guys go to the Philippines half the year, come back to the US the other half. But he is also supporting you on your entrepreneurial journey, right? He has said, hey, if this is what you want, I'll support you and continue to move over. So this is not something that you have to do to pay the bills, correct? This is actually making it harder to pay the bills, not easier to pay the bills, because of the money that you're putting into your company, correct, Julieta?
Absolutely, Peter. You said it right. I mean, my husband said, do we really? In the beginning, he was like, I thought you retired so we can go out and take vacations, long vacations. We even sold our house and went into a condominium so that we don't have to take care of the surroundings, and we can be out for a number of months and just enjoy our retirement. But that didn't happen once I became an entrepreneur.
That is so awesome when you think about him supporting you and continuing to come along. And some people maybe listening to the radio show, maybe you don't have that support from your spouse. Just keep going, keep pushing forward, because sometimes they just want to see you're going to stick with it and keep making things happen for them to get on board and join in. So we've had on some of our supporters of entrepreneurs through kulaBrands, and there's a few people that have really helped you in the community and through that process. Maybe you can give some ideas of some of the ways, because they're going to need to find support systems, whether part of kulaBrands, not part of kulaBrands, none of it matters. What recommendations would you give them on some of the things that people can support them in and help them with their entrepreneurial journey, Julieta?
Again, Peter, I think that's a super great question to ask, because I never realized the value of the friendship I have made over time. And just being honest and open to people makes them want to help you. And I have proven that time and time again. People started volunteering to help me when I first got my first shipment, and I had to ship, like, I believe I had over 700 orders that I had to ship in such a short period of time.
And that was from your reward-based crowdfunding, right, Julieta? That was the reward-based crowdfunding that you did to help get the funding in, to kind of, you know, not the initial funding that Ajit put up, but this funding to help move things forward, correct?
Yes, and I need to begin that I had this product made, which I thought will disappear and get sold, and lo and behold, it's that. Okay, and if not for the crowdfunding that I did with kulaBrands, I would not have sold them off. I literally sold them off. But the next big issue is, how do we ship this thing? You know, and I started by doing it with a few family members, but that was not good enough, because first of all, we need a space to get this thing placed in envelopes or shipping boxes. And guess what? There's Judy and Ken. They said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it in my house, in fact, you know. So we brought all the goods in Kenny and Judy's house. And guess what? Those guys packed all of my crowdfunding orders. How blessed can you get? Okay, I mean, that was incredible. Not in my lifetime would I realize that there are people out there that are willing to help you when you need the help. So that's just one example.
But you have to be willing to ask, right, and be open to receiving it. I think a lot of people get into problems. We've got about 50 seconds left in this segment, because this is so important, guys. If you ever read the book, The Aladdin Factor, somebody may say no to you, that they can't help you, but if you never ask for help, you would never know whether they will say yes or no. And again, you can always figure out a way to compensate people, take care of people down the road. But please, 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 I know a lot of us entrepreneurs out there are go-getters. We're used to making it happen ourselves, and we don't feel really good about asking for help. Make sure that that is not something that's holding you back as an entrepreneur. We're going to be back with one more segment with Julieta. I think we need like 14 more segments, because we're really just getting to dive in here. We'll be right back in the next segment. We'll see you then.
You're tuned in to Better Living Radio, streaming worldwide across the internet, and you're listening to entrepreneur and thought processor Peter Gantner on the next big idea. Stay tuned. Peter will be right back.
I was 35 when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. My ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me. I felt hopeless. He called Elite Rehab Placement because I couldn't make the call. I was ashamed. I was given skills to manage my sadness and my anger, and more importantly, I'm 3.5 years sober. I'm so grateful for all their help. And all it took was making one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-918-1376. 800-918-1376. 800-918-1376. That's 800-918-1376.
You're tuned to the latest concept on radio and on the internet. A gathering of people who use their brains to get a better deal. The day kicks off with none other than the money man, Dan Frischberg. There's the world according to Jackie Simmons, educator and mentor to anyone looking to build or rebuild their business. For the first-time home buyers and for real estate investors, David McLaughlin is more than an exceptional mortgage broker. He's the host of his own show right here called Where to Get the Money. Let's not forget the weekly Dent Market Digest with Harry Dent and his co-host Rodney Johnson, offering a free daily newsletter called Economy and Markets. It's the talk and info you need to live a better life. Hence the name Better Living Radio, anchored in Bradenton, Florida at WWPR and broadcasting 24/7 worldwide. Tell your friends about Better Living Radio. Better Living Radio is on the air, and yes, it's everywhere around the world. Are you wondering, hey, what's the big idea? Oh, funny you should ask. Our show is called The Next Big Idea with Peter Gantner. In fact, we're back with more on Better Living Radio.
Hey guys, welcome back from that quick break. This is your guest host, Cory Moran, finishing out this incredible segment with Julieta Recometa of Easy on BaBeez and her entrepreneurial journey. With us today, we also have Mr. Jan Golij, who's a partner with us here at kulaBrands. And I just want to introduce Jan as one of the many people that have come in contact and have been an integral part in Julieta's journey and all of her journey. And we're going to get into this segment with some creative ways that Julieta has come up with to build her brand and involved community, her community, and the community around the business that she's involved with. So Jan, just real quickly, what has your experience been with the help of Easy on BaBeez and Julieta Recometa?
Well, the holidays is really easy for us because I think every person on the planet probably knows somebody with a baby. And since the baby bodysuit hasn't been innovated in 100 years or so, pretty much everybody you know with a baby is a potential recipient of that gift. So every Christmas that comes around, since we met Julieta, we've been giving Easy on BaBeez products, and everybody just loves them, and they're cuckooing about their baby, and we just love to see that joy on their faces as they realize that their life is going to be just a little bit easier that next year. So from the crowdfunding to Christmas after Christmas and holiday after holiday, it's so easy to support these entrepreneurs who get their products out there that are actually making people's lives easier.
Thank you for that, Jan. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely no shortage of babies, and what an incredible product to put in front of.
If I could just chime in really quick, I love what you said there, Yanni, with the Christmas or holiday shopping, whatever. And we're talking about the creative ways that Julieta has been able to kind of shift things, as she goes. And one of the things is their new subscription box, and Easy on BaBeez is inside of that, and it makes a perfect gift for anyone having babies. So I just wanted to mention and make sure that we mention that in this last segment there, Julieta.
Well, thank you, Deb. And I want to mention too about the creative ways that we were able to share the product not only to the consumers, but also make it an opportunity for the community members to buy the product, not for themselves, but to use it as donations for so many charities, and which really coincide with my mission, that part of the business profit will go to my favorite charities. And of course, without mentioning it, you know that it is for families and for babies, for families with small children, especially the ones that are truly needy. So, I mean, Jan and Cory, when we were developing the crowdfunding, we were thinking of the kulaBrand members that do not even have small children. But we found a way to put one of our I would say, packages to be going to a charitable institution. And we did that successfully.
And
We
Julieta,
made
what were
several
those charities
donations.
real quick? You can give them a quick shout out. So we had the Diaper Bank, right?
Yes, we have the Diaper Bank, and we also have Galistano Hospital. And these are all 501c corporations, and they were so excited about what we did as a company and as a community. We were even featured, and because of that, we were even featured in the local news.
And that's perfect right there. So that's a marketing tip right there. So she was able to put it together, get some units donated from other people donating because they wanted to be part of that, able to donate it to the charity and create some marketing exposure by, of course, the press that came with that in that local area. That's fantastic, Julieta.
Yes, and we did it again because every time we have something going on, I always thought of, now how else can we help other people and also help myself? So if you remember, Peter, I came to you, this was about not too long ago. I came to you and I said, Peter, I need to be in this trade show where I can meet some industry.
The JPMA, correct?
Yes, the JPMA. And I said, I need to raise money because, as you know it, trade shows are not cheap. You know, you have to pay for your booth, you have to pay to prepare for the show and everything, for your display and everything. And guess what? We went again to the community with Peter's ingenious marketing ideas. We went to the community, and I was able to raise money, that part of which got donated and part of which I was able to raise some funds in order to
so
pay
Julia,
for the
let's
trade
dig
show.
into a little bit of detail there because, again, we want to give people really helpful hints. Julieta had some inventory. She needed to move that inventory to turn it into cash to do a show, then to get exposure, which a bunch of great stuff came out of. So we thought, wait a minute, people love to help charities. Let's get a couple charities on board that where people could pay for the outfits. We would donate them to young mothers who needed assistance and to the hospital, which would be able to then use that product. So people got to donate that product. Julieta turned her inventory into cash, used that cash to go do a show, which led to being in 25 BaBeez stores. Guys, entrepreneurship is about solutions. That is what you call putting together a fantastic solution with a win for the people that got to donate the stuff, a win for Julieta, a win for the organizations that received them, a win for the people that received that benefit from those organizations. That is incredible.
It is priceless, Peter, because you are not only able to help yourself, but you are able to give your heart and your support to a number of organizations that needed our products the most. And I just want to special mention that the last trade show that I did, that where I raised money, some of the products that we sold from my inventory went to Shriners Children's Hospital, and again to another local charitable institution that are helping young mothers with very little means for their young children. So
and
how
Julieta,
much joy
you
can
bring
you
up
get?
a point there. When you do sometimes trade shows or shows, not all are going to work out, right? I mean, that's the roll of the dice. That doesn't mean you don't do another one. It doesn't mean you don't get back up off the mat. Again, Rockietta, because you just get right back up and make this happen. Guys, if you want somebody to inspire you, go to easyonbabies.com. Get Julieta is an inspiration in that way. And we're got about 2 minutes left. One of the things that I really want to hit on, because Julieta has mastered this, guys. In kulaBrands, we have 43 different inventors that we work with. 3 of those are baby products. Julieta and 2 of our other entrepreneurs have connected together. Deb mentioned it with the Tot Box. This is another big way to move your business forward, is collaborating with other people in the same space, not competing, but collaborating. Julieta, can you close out the rest of the segment talking about that collaboration? We're going to have a standalone show with all 3 ladies on, because it's a fantastic idea, fantastic concept. We're going to have them talk about how they collaborated together. But we got 1.5 minutes left. Can you close out the segment with that collaboration?
Yes, we were at a kulaBrands anniversary, and I met these 2 amazing, beautiful women that are my co-inventors at kulaBrands. And they saw my product, I saw their products, and we sat down and we said, why don't we put together our products together into some kind of a subscription, And sure enough, we started talking about it, putting all the things that we need in order to make it happen. And guess what? We are doing it. We started to launch it at the Prego Expo, and we got a lot of traffic. We were the #1 best show at the last Prego Expo show.
And Juliet, we are running down. We got 30 seconds left. Can you give them a website where they can check out, or maybe Facebook, where they can check out the Tot Box?
The Tot Box is available online, mytotbox.com. And my own website is easyonbabies.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today, guys. Go out there, make your next big idea a success, and enjoy the rest of the week. We'll see you on the next segment of The Next Big Idea.
Did you ever imagine that these little inventions like radio and the internet, that there was a time when they were considered the next big idea? And yet, here you are today, having just heard a program called The Next Big Idea. Peter Gantner is your host. He's one of the founders of kulaBrands, and they can help you whether you've got an idea of your own or you just want to get in on the ground floor of the next big thing. Peter and his co-hosts and guests are here weekdays on Better Living Radio to discuss the ins and outs of creating, manufacturing, branding, and marketing the best of the big ideas. Maybe you've got one, or maybe you want to be involved in one. You're definitely tuned into the right spot. So hear this. You can hear this program weekdays at the same time on Better Living Radio as kulaBrands presents Peter Gantner and the Next Big Idea. You may know David McLaughlin from his program here at Better Living Radio. A lot of people know him because he's helped them to get the money for residential and commercial properties when they'd just about given up. Diamond Dave McLaughlin is a pro with a wealth of knowledge and a responsive attitude. Yeah, he's one of those guys who actually calls you back. In fact, the cornerstone of his business is built on great communication. David specializes in helping people with one of their most important dreams, financing a home, and enhancing the economic well-being of his customers one loan at a time. It doesn't have to be complicated. If you're looking for a pro to guide you through any kind of stress-free financing process, catch Dave's show. It's called Where to Get the Money. You can get all of Dave's contact info. In fact, the best place to find David McLaughlin is right there on the homepage at betterlivingradio.com. The next $1 million idea is being formed each and every day. How many of those ideas, brands, companies, or musicians will break into the market, let alone make it to the top? At kulaBrands, we work hand in hand with inventors and creative folks to boost their brands. From concept to products ready to take the world stage, kulaBrands provides entrepreneurs with funding, brand creation, gap sales, marketing, and more. Using a rewards-based royalty system, both kulaBrands and your company succeed. Where will I get the money? How do I reach a global customer base? How or where do I get my products manufactured? kulaBrands helps solve these challenges and helps your business on a path to success. kulaBrands, changing the way new ideas get to market, and yours could be next. Reach out to kulaBrands at kulaBrands.com. That's K-U-L-A, kulaBrands.com, or see the contact info on the homepage at betterlivingradio.com.